Greetings, family. Let's see. Mm. Greetings, family. Greetings. How are y'all? Well, we just here to have a little convo, Vinyard Talk. What I want to talk about is just, what is going on, with these different podcasts, brothers, people online, on YouTube teaching about, God laws. Most of them saying that the laws are done away with. And this this is dangerous, dangerous teaching, dangerous teaching. And it's sad that, this is the majority of people is getting hoodwinked by these heretic doctrines out there. Like we basically talking about this guy, that has, I'm gonna talk about two different people, two people that has podcasts, that has platforms on YouTube that teaches that the laws of God is done away with. Like in this guy Solberg in Biblical Roots, he teaches that God laws are done away with. So we're just lawless people running around here. Then we have this other guy, Corey. He's on his channel is Smart Christians. The thing is, Solberg, his channel is called Biblical Roots. So tell me something, family. If you're going to name your channel Biblical Roots, that means you're supposed to go back to the root of these things. So your channel name is Biblical Roots, but yet you're teaching against the Bible roots. How does that make sense? You're teaching against the Bible roots. Because if you're teaching that God laws is done away with, that's the root of who this God that we're supposed to be serving. Then we have the Corey guy on Smart Christians. How smart can you be if you're teaching against the God of the Bible, the creator? So we have these guys that is following this Eurocentric Christianity. And the thing is, a lot of people go to church and believe that they're serving the God of the Bible. And they don't realize that this Eurocentric Christianity that people is walking around claiming to be part of, that it has nothing to do with God, nothing to do with Christ. Because number one, when I was growing up, they teach us, I've always learned that this blonde hair, blue-eyed man is Christ, Jesus. This white woman with this young baby is supposed to be Mary and Jesus. And not until I came into the truth, come into the truth now, that to find out that this man who we grew up calling Jesus has no relations to Jesus. And I think up until now, 2025, a lot of people who's claiming to be Christian think that this man actually is Jesus. One time we went on a trip, we went to visit, one of the Caribbean islands. And the people that house that we're staying in, they have like 4 or 5 of these pictures of this blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus. And I asked the lady, Mom, do you know who is that man? She said, yeah, that's Jesus. I'm like, no, that's not Jesus. She said, yeah, that's Jesus. And she's a Catholic, you know. So even today, a lot of people don't know that this man who we grew up thinking was Jesus is not Jesus. And I grew up thinking that that man was actually Jesus. I thought that was Jesus. Growing up, don't know any better. That man name is Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia. And his father is Pope Alexander the Sixth. Pope Alexander the Sixth. And that man that we call Jesus, who is Caesar Borgia, he actually was a gay man. He and Leonardo da Vinci were gay lovers. So we grew up calling a gay man Jesus. Mm-mm-mm. Help me. So these two brothers here, these two guys, call it Solberg, who got the platform Biblical Roots, and Corey with the platform Smart Christians. They use scriptures like Colossians chapter 2. I hear Solberg using Colossians chapter 2 because a lot of these Eurocentric Christians, they run to this Colossians chapter 2. Don't let no one judge you in meat, drinks, holy days, new moons, or Sabbath days. And to say that you don't have to keep none of these. But Colossians chapter 2, family, who you think that is talking about? Why would Paul be telling people who are not keeping them, don't let no one judge them when they keep them? This has nothing to do with the ones who don't keep them. It has nothing to do with people like Solberg, people like Corey, because they don't keep the law. Do they keep the God's holy days? Do they keep the new moon? Do they keep the Sabbath? So if they don't keep the new moon, they don't keep God's holy days, they don't keep God's Sabbath, this Colossians chapter 2, 16 and 17 cannot be talking about them. Paul is talking to the ones who is keeping the holy days, who is keeping the new moon, who is keeping the Sabbath. And he's telling them, when they keep it, don't let no one judge them. He's not talking to the people that is not keeping the commandments. Because Paul himself, who people run to, keeps those same laws. He keeps these same commandments. So why is it Paul keeping them, but yet he's teaching people against keeping them? Does that make sense, family? That don't make no sense. Then they go to many people. Up to today, I was talking to some Jehovah's Witness. I met some Jehovah's Witness on the road. I was talking to them, and they went to this. I asked them about the Sabbath and God's laws, and they went to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew 5, 17 and 18, where it talks about where Jesus said, don't think that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. So if Christ is saying, don't think I came to destroy the law or the prophets, how in God's on God's green earth, could he be saying that he come to destroy it? When he clearly say he did not come to destroy it. He says, until heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall pass from the law until all be fulfilled. Then the lady said, well, he came to fulfill. He came to fulfill. I said, what do you mean he came to fulfill? He came to show us how it's done. So, family, I want y'all to pick sense out of nonsense. If Christ came to show us how it's done, is that telling you that you don't have to keep them? Or is showing you that you have to keep them? A lot of time, people, we don't even need the Bible for basic common sense. If Christ came to walk this thing out, walk it out, Matthew chapter 5, where he said, don't think that I come to destroy the law of the prophet. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Meaning he came to show us how it's done. So if he came to show us how it's done, family, isn't that telling you that you have to do it? That's why he's showing you how to do it. That's not saying you don't have to do it. What kind of sense does that make? Not only that, family. He said, if anyone break the least of them, so that means he's telling you, you have to keep them. If you can't break them, that means you have to keep them. If it's showing you how it's to be done, that means you're supposed to do them. That's why he's showing you how to do it. How does this make sense, family? Then Corey's saying that the laws was abolished. The same man Solberg is saying the laws was abolished. So now you're saying that it's okay to kill, rob, steal? And when Satan brings a lie, he have to bring another lie to cover the first lie. Then you have to bring another lie to cover the next lie. So you will always catch them talking out of the two sides of their necks. They will tell you that Jesus only gave us 2 commandments: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, and love your brother or your neighbor as yourself. Family, what does those 2 commandments consist of? The lady that I was talking to, she had a gentleman with her, the Seventh-day Adventist woman, the Jehovah's Witness woman. And the guy, I was asking the guy a question. He said, I asked him, he said, the reason why they're on the street preaching is they're preaching to keep God's commandments so we can go into the kingdom. So I asked him a question. I said, do you keep the Sabbath? Oh, the Sabbath was abolished. The Sabbath was abolished. Isn't the Sabbath under the same thing that you said, that he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, and love your brother as yourself? So how do you love God? The Bible tells you in Exodus chapter 20, from verse 1 down to verse 10, it tells you how to love God. Thou shalt not make, worship no other God but me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image of any likeness of anything in heaven, on earth, under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them. For God is a jealous God. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So isn't the Sabbath under love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind? Isn't the Sabbath right there? So how can the Sabbath be abolished? Don't the Bible say that If we love Jesus, Jesus said, if you love him, you have to walk the way that he walked. Did Jesus keep the Sabbath? Then the lady, after the lady will say, well, these are the trickeries that these lawless people use. Well, you're supposed to worship God every day. What does that have to do with you and I keeping his Sabbath? Did God tell you worship him every day? Did he tell you that? The Bible teaches us, family, that he don't want your sacrifice. He wants your obedience. So you're keeping all these other days and you're not keeping a Sabbath. How is that making sense? It's just like if I need a window in my house to be fixed. Just listen to this. I need a window in my house to be fixed, and I call someone to repair the window. That person came, they repaired the two doors, they repaired the kitchen cupboard, but they didn't repair the window that I asked them. So if I come now, when I come and I say, hey, what happened to the window that you're supposed to fix? Oh, well, I didn't get the time, but I repaired your door, and I repaired the tile, and I repaired the kitchen cabinet. That's your sacrifice. I didn't tell you to do that. I call you to repair the window. So why isn't the window fixed, but you're fixing something else? So it's the same way. God don't want our sacrifice. If he wants you to keep the Sabbath, why are you asking me every day you're supposed to worship God every day? Did he tell you worship him every day? The God that we serve, he knows that we have to work because he is the one that put it down, family. He's the one that laid that law down. He said, by the sweat of your brow, you shall eat bread. He knows we have to work. He knows we have to work to eat. He knows we have to work to survive. As far as paying our bills, he knows that. So what he did, he gave us 6 days to do that. 6 days. But he said, but the 7th day, that's my day. Not mine, his. That's my day. And that's the day I separated, sanctified, and hallowed, and blessed for you to come and serve me. Did he tell you worship him every day? He didn't tell you that. He gave you 6 days that you can go and work and do what you have to do in order to survive, to pay your bills. The one day he separated for himself. That one day, we even have so-called pastors that has churches with thousands of followers who is telling people that the new Sabbath day or the new Lord's Day is Sunday. And you know the excuse that they use? Because he rose on Sunday. Family, Jesus did not raise on Sunday. He did not raise on Sunday. But let's assume that he did. Just let's assume that he did raise on Sunday. But he didn't raise on Sunday. Even if he rose on Sunday, did God give anyone authority to change his worship day from Saturday to Sunday because he raised on Sunday or he rose on Sunday? Where in the Bible did God give anyone the authority to change his worship day from the 7th day to the 1st day because he rose on the 1st day? Where in the Bible that says that? But we have all these churches that is saying the reason why they're celebrating or worshiping on the 1st day is because Christ rose on the 1st day. But even that is a lie. That's not the reason why. The reason why is because it came from Constantine. Because Constantine saw this sign in the sky And that's where Sunday worship came from. It came from Constantine and the Pope of Rome. It had nothing to do with Jesus raising on the Sunday or on the first day. And he did not raise on Sunday. Jesus rose on the eve of the Sabbath, family. On the eve of the Sabbath. Then we have them running around saying Jesus died on Friday. That's why we have this Good Friday. I want to know what's so good about it. They murder and massacre this guy, and they call it Good Friday. For real? Jesus gave a sign, and he said he's going to be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. He gave the example of Jonah being in the whale's belly for 3 days and 3 nights. But yet we have intelligent so-called pastors, leaders, shepherds that say they went to this cemetery school, what they call theology school. I call it cemetery school. And come back teaching the people that you can get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday evening to early Sunday morning. I am glad these people wasn't teachers in schools. I'm glad they wasn't teachers in schools. Because if they were teachers in school, we will be messed up. We will be messed up. Because your child will come home saying that they can get 3 days and 3 nights from Friday evening to early Sunday morning. They can't even count. These is men and so-called women with degrees, and they can't even count. This is sad. This is sad. And these people are leading flocks. They're leading sheep. They're leading thousands of people to the lake of fire. These people are heretics. These people are anti-Christ, anti-God. Anti-Christ, anti-God. People like Corey, Solberg. These people are anti-Christ. In the book of John, 1 John, chapter 2, it says, if anyone say they know me and don't keep my commandments, that person is a liar and they don't have the truth. They are liars. So all those heretics, antichrist, antinomians who is saying that God's laws was abolished on the cross, Corey plainly said that the 10 Commandments is abolished. Solberg said the same thing. It's abolished. We are not bound to keep these laws. So now we are lawless people. And we have so many lost souls are following these people. So many lost souls are following these people. Make that make sense, family. And the bad thing about it, a lot of these lost souls, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear that they don't have to keep any commandments. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to keep the commandments. They want to just believe, and they think that they're going to just march up into God's kingdom. All they have to do is believe. They can eat whatever they want. They don't have to keep his Sabbath. They don't have to keep his commandments. And they're going to just walk up into his house. So who is these people that God is saying, or Jesus will be saying, get away from me. I don't know you, you that practice lawlessness. Who is those people? Who is those people, family? That Christ is going to say, get away from me. I don't know you, you that practice lawlessness. Isn't lawlessness meaning that you're against laws or you don't keep laws? Isn't that what lawlessness is? But yet these guys, these people, they teach others that you don't have to keep God's laws. The Bible teach us, family, if the blind leads the blind, the boat will fall into a ditch. A blind man can't lead a blind man. If the pastor is blind, the flock is also blind. So you know what that ditch is, family? The lake of fire. That's what the ditch is. So when the pastor go in the lake of fire, you that is following him, which is the blind leading the blind, the blind followers are going right there in the lake of fire with them. These people are blind guides. That's what they are. Anyone who is teaching that God's laws was abolished on the cross are anti-Christ, anti-God. The anti-Christ, the Christ of the Bible, is sad. It is really sad. We do Bible studies, family, on Friday evenings. It's like question and answers. So you don't have to, it's not a dictatorship. It's a family affair. We all participate on Friday evening at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. every Friday evening. There's a Q&A, question and answer. And on my channel here, you can find the information for the Zoom. Zoom is on Zoom. You can find the information for the Zoom. It's meeting ID 407-493-1344, 407-493-1344, and the ID is the passcode is 54321. Again, the passcode is 54321. Again, you can find it on the description on the YouTube page. Please consider subscribing, family. Subscribe and share the lesson that it can go out. But family, I'm here to tell you, stop following anyone that is telling you that you don't have to keep no laws. God abolished the laws and the cross. Run from these people. Run. Especially if you're a person that you want to go into God's kingdom, run from these people. Because if you wants to go into God's kingdom and you're following these guys that is telling you that you don't have to keep no laws, something is wrong with you. Truly, truly wrong. Where can you go that don't have laws? Even this world that we're living in, family, we have laws. You're driving on the road, you have laws. You're in your job, you have laws. So, and the Bible teaches us, God said we have to obey the laws of the land. So how is it that this great God that made man, made the earth and everything in it, and telling us that we have to obey the laws of the land, but yet he don't have any laws? Does that make sense to you, family? Does that make sense to you? He telling you to obey the laws of the land, but yet he don't have any. Make that make sense. I always encourage family, stop following these blind guides. They don't mean you any good. They don't. Well, we're going to come back again. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow evening with another biblical talk. If y'all want to talk about anything specific, just put it down in the comment box. And we'll get through it and we will talk about it. Well, family, I'm going to get out of here. So I'll take it easy.